This is the Eye Seduction Channel.
We are in the Toronto, Canada home studio of artist Patricia Lazar and her dog Wonder Georgie. Now, a very exciting side note to Patricia's exceptional talent is that one of her paintings is one of the artworks starring front and center of a Radio Free NY t-shirt. And this is it. This is what is on one of our Radio Free NY t-shirts as created by Patricia Lazar. About what year this painting was produced and what inspired you to do it?
Oh, it was probably done in the last couple of years. It was done on a ceramic piece that I made. I think it might have been on a plate or on a teapot, but the original work was sold, and now I have just prints of it.
So you don't recall like how many reproductions of this you made? And
No, I haven't made very many. No, no.
And do you recall what the highest price was that someone purchased that?
Well, if it was on a plate, it would have been a plate of about 10 by 10, let's say, and probably would have been about $135. As a print, depending on the size, an 8 by 10 would be about 22, and I could go very large with this, so the price would go up accordingly.
And approximately how long did it take you to complete this piece?
Well, it takes me long. It takes me a long time. If it was on a plate, as I think it was, so, you know, I have to make the plate first out of ceramic, all hand-built. I don't use the wheel at all. And it would probably take me between 8 and 10 hours to paint.
I read in your bio also, Patricia, that you mentioned being, what, the youngest artist involved in something special. Can you explain that and at what age? The bio might have been referring
do
to?
you mean at the Montreal Museum
Yes.
of Fine Arts? Yes.
What age were you and what exactly was that?
Well, I studied with Arthur Lismer, who's, as you know, one of the group of 7 Canadian artists who are very famous. And he was an old man already when he taught me, but he was just marvelous. And I did a 2-man show, me and this other guy who was, I don't remember even what he did. I only remember my own work. But we did a show at the Junior Association of the Montreal Museum. So it was very, something I'm very proud of doing. My work was totally different then. It was a lots of nudes, very, very heavy, hard to live with. People bought them like crazy, but a lot of people returned them. They found they were too hard to live with. So it's funny how over the years, I was very young then. I must have been in my early 20s, I guess, late teens, early 20s. And over the years, I guess I've become a lot happier because my work is totally different now. This one's very whimsical, I think. This piece here, I love her. Look at her eyes. I mean, they kind of make you smile when you look at them. They're very easy to live with. That's what people always say, that when they see my work, it makes them happy.
Well, that's so true, and that's why you're a part of what we're doing at Radio Free NY. Have you spent a bit of time working on some ceramic piece, and then by accident, by you or someone visiting, that it fell and broke?
Yeah, oh yeah. Mostly by me.
Right.
I'm very, very bad at that. But, like, here's a piece over here that did break. And as you can see, it says, sometimes I feel like I'm cracking up. And, well, she doesn't look like a happy camper there, that's true.
So maybe by the fact that it broke, it gave a whole new meaning to the piece.
It did, definitely. That's what inspired the cracking up, take on it. Yeah.
Is there any one or more ceramic pieces or anything else that you are most proud of? I mean, I'm sure each one has its own special place in your heart, but any one or two that just stands out as...
I don't know, I love my teapots. I'm quite well known for my teapots. I love this teapot. They're all functional. They're all hand-built. And they're all a little bit different on the other
Both
side.
sides, yes.
Yeah, different imagery.
So you like
and they pour well.
Right, oh great.
This one here is of a fallen angel with a broken wing. You could see.
And that was on purpose?
Yes, that was on purpose. I didn't. That was not an accident. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that piece actually.
Why is that?
Why is that? I'm not so sure how much I like the buildings. You know, the whole city, like falling on top of a sky rise.
Very Manhattan-like.
Very what?
New York City, Manhattan-like.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
relate to this.
Yeah, I love my nudes, I must say. I like my nudes the best. And if you look over here, well, that's a bowl. I love her. And of course, they're all functional pieces. And I love this teapot. I think she's a beautiful teapot. Yeah, well, I guess I don't know that I have a favorite so much here, but I do love all of these pieces here, all of these pieces that you see here. And their expressions on their faces, and yeah, I really like her a lot too. That's a nice piece, I think.
What of your art has sold at the highest price?
Oh, a couple of teapots that I had. I sold, a really nice, beautiful teapot that was elongated, sort of, you know, like that, a face, and the hair was coming out and all of that. It was very, very nice. And that sold at, I think, about $500. And the lady who bought it was so happy with it that she then ordered another piece for me. She was a bridge player, is, hope, still. And she ordered a teapot from me for about the same price, actually. Very, very nice teapot. It was in a heart shape, and it had a lot of symbolism of the bridge game, of the different cards in it. And there was even a doorway in it that opened up. There was the king and queen, and inside this little doorway that opened, there was a nude little lady. Too. These are, as you could see, they're very nice little vases that I've done of little nude ladies or just cute little ladies, sort of very mod and funky. And yeah, I like those.
Now, besides the ceramics and the price that you sold them at, haven't there been some canvas pieces that you sold for a lot more money?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. I've done
to
some
what
more.
rate? What price range?
Actually, I probably don't sell my pieces at the right prices. They should be higher. Right. But I did do a fabulous, I think I have a picture of it too, a fabulous portrait commission of a little dog. And the dog was the cutest thing. And I did a large piece. It was probably 36 by 48 maybe, as I recall. A very large painting. And it was somewhere around $2,500, I think. Yeah. I just did another commission of a little cat. That cat's name is, Herbert. Not Herbert. I suddenly forget his name. But anyway.
You said he's a YouTube cat, no?
Yeah, he's a YouTube cat. He's so cute. These are pictures that his mommy sent me. And she didn't want his mouth open, so I kind of combined the two. And that's what I would call funky.
Where's the cat from? Where do they live?
Near New Orleans.
And how did they hear about you?
Oh, they heard about me because, well, this lady is the mother of a client of mine for whom I painted her two cats. plus a huge floor cloth for her living room. I'll tell you about floor cloths after.
Okay, good.
And also portraits of her 2 young daughters who are just so adorable. I painted large portraits of them. Yeah, very cute girls.
And among the other pieces of art that you create, pet portraits such as the cat, are there any others?
Loads and loads of them of all kinds of breeds. Cats, dogs, rabbits actually. I did a bunny rabbit.
Wow.
Yeah. I love doing pet portraits. And they're really, as you could see from that one, they're very, very expressionist. Because, you know, if I wanted to, as I said, I could paint that very realistically. But I want to show their character, the personality. And this cat's mother says I nailed him.
Wow. Well, that
Yeah,
really
he's
says it
such
down.
a cutie.
And you even did some of your own dog, Georgie, and other dogs you've had, yes?
Which I did, yeah.
Right. Now, you've traveled to Israel, I believe I read somewhere. Now, what actually took place there, and do you sell any of your works in Israel or any other countries besides Canada?
Oh, I've sold a lot to the United States. I've sold to European countries because they love to collect nudes. You know, maybe Montreal or maybe even Vancouver's the exception, but Toronto, the good. A lot of people are very embarrassed or ashamed to have nude art. And even if they keep it in their own bedrooms, I mean, I had one woman say to me, God forbid my mother-in-law should come in here and see the nude painting. I mean, it's like so ridiculous, you know, I mean.
And what was that in Israel that took place? That
I lived in Israel for a few years. I lived there 3 different times, actually. I went back and forth. My family was in Montreal. My heart was in Israel. It was very difficult to go back and forth, which I did, and I lived there each time for 1.5 years or 2 years. And I actually lived and studied part of the time in Tzfat, the artist colony there. And I studied with some of the very prominent artists from there. And yeah, and I did show my work also. You know, I've always loved birds. I have loads of bird feeders in my back garden. I never really made birds, so I decided to do a collection of birds now. And here's one of them that I did. They're flying wall art birds. And here's another little guy down here that I just did. And I intend to make loads of them. I just love them. And they'll be, of course, not meant to be, you know, realistic looking birds. There'll be all kinds of crazy colors and everything, but they'll be
funky and whimsical.
Yes, funky and whimsical, exactly. And I may even put in their bellies a nude woman.
Yes.
Yep.
And
That's what I could see.
besides what you've already spoken about, are there any other kinds of art forms that you've created?
Oh, I've done, you name it, I've done it. You know, besides the t-shirts and all kinds of other things. But one of my favorite things to do, and I get a lot of commissions on this, is to do floor cloths. And these are painted rugs that are done on the back of vinyl sheeting. And they're prepared in such a way and finished in such a way that they will last through generations. And I do get a lot. I work with customers on this, on these things. A lot of artists make these actually from cotton canvas, and I used to do that, but I find that vinyl even wears better. You could have any type of art on it if you like. I've done them with people's pets on them. I've done really, you know, all kinds of designs, whether it's classic, traditional, or very, very modern. I've done a lot of these, and I just love to do them. They're very affordable, and commission me.
And so, since vinyl was so popular in the 60s and 70s with recorded albums, I guess you could make this kind of musical besides whimsical.
I don't know about that.
How do most people, would you say, hear about you worldwide? Is it, I guess, nowadays through the internet, or what other mediums to know about you?
Well, I used to do a lot of shows in art galleries and outdoor art exhibitions, only the very best juried ones. I did a lot of that, and people knew me, especially, as I say, for my teapots. Well, I've stopped doing that in the last several years now because I have some physical, well, I don't know if I would call them disabilities, but I have issues, physical issues, and I just can't do those types of setups anymore. So now I'm strictly online. I have a website. I used to have a huge website. Now I've cut it down to the main page, to one page only, but it directs you to my Etsy shop, where I sell a lot of my work.
And of course, from what we're doing on the I Seduction channel here at Radio Free NY, there will be some, well, we expect some great visibility of your exceptional talent. So, on a very snowy Toronto day, do you also create snow angels and snowmen, or you just stay busy indoors on those snowy, cold Toronto days?
Well, I walk my beautiful doggy, Georgie, who's now getting on in years. He's 15 and a half.
Well, he sure dances nicely.
He does. He's terrific. You should see him run still. But he has some little, well, I don't know how little they are. He has some issues also.
Hey, everyone has issues and tissues. That's the game of life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I do walk him, but we don't go too far. And I can't say I do much of anything outdoors in the winter.
And we thank you much for your time.
Thank you.